Oh, wrong one. Straight in. Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, Rich. Yeah, authorization failed. I actually don't know why that happens, but it's not important, so I keep forgetting to change it. It's basically just the like graphic that I have is just a kind of base example graphic from somewhere. And it was connected to my Twitch, and now it's not connected to my Twitch, but when I go on their website, it still is. Yeah, allow Mr. Ban on 4. We could talk about it. Hope everyone is doing well. We're going to look over the series from Wednesday. Now we're going to look over it just like we would win, loss, all the same. We're going to look at the draft, talk about that. We're going to look at the game. And then most importantly, when I'm looking at the game, I'm not looking to find all our mistakes. I'm not looking to find all the things that we could do better. I'm looking to find out what we want to change, what we want to improve over the next 2 weeks. And then we can start to build a plan about like how we might actually do that, because those are the important steps. So the analysis part, the pointing out what's wrong part is only the very, very beginning. So draft-wise, we were very happy with this draft, and I think the prep is really, really good. This is one of those things where you have two streamer teams playing against each other. So I did look a bit at their draft as well, like how they were talking about it as they went through, just out of curiosity. And they knew what we were going to pick. We knew what they were going to pick as well. So both teams kind of knew. I'll show you as an example. Oh wait, wrong button. This was from our prep. So this is. Did we change anything from this? We didn't know what they would go on 5. We would just have like a mouse pick on 5, or maybe the flex 5. But other than that, I think it's exactly what happened, which is always fun. Oh wait, sorry, you can't see that. That's a nightmare. Okay, what I was showing was this. This was a screenshot from one of our prep pages. So yeah, that's one of those things where you're always going to have this kind of situation when you're doing streamer team versus streamer team. We thought that if they were to trade in one of the kind of classic OPs, wouldn't be Gwen or Rumble, it would be the Varus. And oh, I took a picture of the wrong thing. This is Maokai first pick. Should say Varus. Then the rest is fine. That's a tragedy. Anyway, still interesting that you get that kind of dynamic in these kind of games, which you don't get normally. So, fuck, I keep full screening the wrong thing so that I can't see it properly. So yeah, we like the Varus as a trade. Jhin is still fine, but it does provide a lot of extra pressure in bot lane, especially the Varus. Then we wanted the Poppy, which is triple flex for us, and obviously Chachi is incredibly good on Poppy, so it's not just triple flex, but it's like supreme comfort in top lane. There's only a couple of things that we don't want to play into top lane, which is these two. So once these two are gone, we was thinking like, well, we can just put it top, and it's always fine. So it was going to be about what they banned here. Now I know they talked about the rail ban, and they didn't get to it fast enough. I think it's better with rail, our comp, but I think it's still okay if we had to change it. So we could still put the Poppy support into Rakan, and we could still put it jungle. And for me, it was mostly about what they were going to ban. So I think Xin is probably the best jungler on the patch. I just think we're better at. We would prefer Xin to Vi, I think, or me and Martin would prefer Xin to Vi. So at the very least, it's a good kind of equal trade. And so if they ban stuff like Xin, then the Poppy can go to the jungle, and it's also fine in the matchup. Good matchup. If they ban top laners, it can go to top lane. If they ban supports, it can also go to support. So in this case, it actually did end up going top lane because they missed this rail ban. But I think with the rail ban, we probably would have just put it support and picked a different top lane on 4-5. And if they'd have banned like Xin Pantheon, for example, then we probably would have put it jungle and picked rail and a different top laner. So yeah, happy with this one. Happy with how it like went out. I think the reason that I wanted to talk about that, and the reason that I wanted to talk about the whole like prep thing, is that so often I think people are left with the impression that like you do a draft and one team is like really happy with it and one team's really unhappy with it. Whereas most often what happens is both teams are actually like fairly happy. Like they didn't like the fact they missed the rail ban, right? But they knew what was coming. This first 3 versus this first 3, we both know that's coming. And they should predict these bans on 4-5. So I'm assuming they kind of knew everything that was going to happen. and we kind of knew everything that was going to happen. So you end up in what I think was a good situation, but it's not the case where one team's like, oh my God, the enemy coach is just such a genius. We can't do anything. But I do think our comps, our drafts were much better today. I'm going to have some meetings with some of the team about how we can get our stream drafts to be a bit more consistent like this. Obviously, with the extra prep, it helps a lot. So that's a big component of it. Let me just make this a little bigger and then make the top a little lower. Is that going to chop my head off? I think that's okay, right? And then we'll go through the game. Now, as always, I'm looking at puzzles. I'm looking at potential things that we want to do differently, potential things that we want to learn, what we want to have as our goal, all those kind of things. Oh, I thought when I looked at it late, and then they were saying they wanted to have banned it. But anyway, doesn't really matter. But they don't want to miss a ban. But the point is, the rest of it was kind of what both teams were sort of looking for in a way. We get the bush control, which is good. I don't know if there's actually that much. The thing that's so strange about these games, and I said it when I was watching, when I was doing the stream, is that for the last couple of weeks, if you've been watching our scrims, we've been trying to work on the same things. Making sure we're respecting tempo properly, especially after plays. Making sure that our comms are a lot clearer than they were. And being specific about our strategy, like how we want the game to go. So in the next game, for example, we just want like no fights. We want like to just poke and play really, really slow. And over the weeks and scrims, it kind of felt sometimes like we couldn't do those things, and we wouldn't be. It did actually feel sometimes like we weren't even getting better at them, which is obviously the most frustrating thing as a coach. Like, I don't know why we're not getting better on this. Why are we not able to execute on this stuff? But in these games, we did those things really, really well. So it changes a lot about how you think about the last few weeks. It's like, okay, actually, we were responding. We were taking this information in. We just couldn't execute it on it in scrims for whatever reason. You know, maybe the pressure's just not high enough and we're too relaxed, and so we don't focus, but we're still absorbing the information. So it's very difficult to judge what we should do. Flash trade there, I like. We just make sure that Crowley's pressured, and because he's taken cleanse in this matchup, which we were a bit shocked at, I think. They're always going to have less pressure in the 2v2. Tartu starting down the boss is really important reason you couldn't bring Chaos to Rift. Yeah, I think as well, we saw in the second game the advantage that we have this split compared to last split. That second game, 100%, you can't pick Trundle there because they just lane swap. And when you get the first lane swap, then you can get the next one, and then you can just keep mismatching. But as long as you can't do the first lane swap anymore, future lane swaps we can kind of deny. Hey, thanks for the follow. And we deny the future lane swaps by just making sure we call them out and making sure we're there to swap. And then you just can't get out of the matchup. And so before they could pick Cho'Gath and just swap around. And now, as long as you are respectful of the swaps, you can't. And that's a big, big change as well. And that makes you have to change a lot about the way you play. I also think they have to ban stuff like Trundle. But there's maybe too many good split pushers for them to ban, but I think Trundle was the super easy one against Cho there, where it's just absolutely brutal as a matchup. And that's where you start to see the difference between Baus, who's very, very good and has his own unique style, and Chachi, who's like that's so consistent. I don't know how many years he'd spent in the LEC, you know, like just been there forever kind of player who's always going to like just punish all those windows. And he's able to turn that into the game. This is a few times I already spoke to Freddie about this, and he's aware. Like both times, he makes the same mistake next game as well. He just needs the exact same play, but just be this side, and he's fine. And actually, if they go for this without seeing where Rel is, obviously they probably wouldn't go for it if he's on the other side. But if you go for this play without seeing where Rel is. It's really nicely timed, by the way. He's 5 as he comes in, but he gets 6 as he goes. So it's like, oh, he's 5. Boom, he's 6. Really cool. But I think you just go on the other side and that doesn't work. You just fog towards the side. And it's one of those things where, like, it's just because it's a pressure game. There's loads of other things to think about. He just needs to keep it in his head, but we already spoke about this. So they take a couple of plates. We take the grubs. Which gives us a lot more freedom on the second respawn to do whatever we want with them. They crash this wave in, but we're here to help with the next wave so that we can't get dove. There's a couple of times here where there's one time especially where we go for Baus, and I think Chachi made the right call in game. Like, it was the good thing to go for him. We just messed it up so much, you know? This was good, really, really clear exactly what we were going to do. We just chained together the catch. I think they have no business coming to contest this, to be honest, when you don't have any control over it. Maybe there is a way to contest it, but I'm not sure what that is. Maybe you have to play it slower, but as soon as you don't have the position on this, like, this is just a bit... People talk about, you know, I know some people have sent me some clips of, like, Nemesis saying, like, we needed a wake-up call or those kind of things. And this is exactly, I think, the kind of play for it. You're coming to contest this. You know that Xin can always just stack up his third shot. And you know that both Rel and Xin have flash. You can't contest it like that, but you might get away with it. And if you get away with it enough times, then you just keep doing it. What's this sequence? I can't remember this one. Let me look at why Jin's able to get so much there. We do just base and then we come, but we want to open through top instead. And we get our top back. The back gets stopped. Okay. That's why Jin's able to pick up more like he would be already TPing. The next official for us is 2 weeks again against Ruddy in upper bracket final. The thing about here in terms of this sequence is actually we use both our really important flashes, like aggressive flashes, and they didn't. So this whole sequence I think is a little hard. Like 4v3 already. Yeah, so we just can't run forward here. Just inting. But we can test this slow enough. Also, the chain spreads to Xin is really good. Nemesis was TPing, but he's just too slow. We're able to get one. Then they TP. And we get another one, but we'd proxied that bot wave as well. So they get another one. This obviously, like, we see it happen, you just take it flash, but I think you have to go for stuff like that. Like, I think you can't draw attention to stuff like that as a coach, personally. Because you don't want people to ever be, like, in that situation where they think they see 100% kill and then they don't go for it. That's... Yeah, exactly. It was really, really close. I think you can just take the flash, but I don't want players to be, like, second-guessing their windows. Yeah, exactly. You buffer it insanely well. But, I mean, you die anyway there, even if he doesn't buffer it, right? Just die. Here, for example, I think we absolutely should have just killed the Galio. Yeah, we miss everything. Yeah. So it's really hard with Baus, right? There's windows where it's not worth chasing him, and there's windows where it absolutely is. I think probably it is worth chasing him because he loses so much to die there. The cannon is tanking the tower for a long time, so we don't lose a huge amount of minions chasing it. And we lose, what, a couple of camps for the kill, and we can still get on bot to the next wave, maybe. Because I'm not sure if we're here already, after we do these grubs. That's interesting, actually. This could be a potential good good puzzle. After these grubs, do we chase Baus, basically? So 17 minutes. So what I'm thinking here is we should definitely kill him. We mess up. But even if we assume that we kill him, is it worth or not? This was the play before. So we've just taken grubs. We push out Rakan onto this side. We get his flash. At this state of the game, like this is the game state. Vi was dead, so we know that she's only just come back out on the map. And now when they do this, enemy can instantly run into our bottom side. And so if we don't chase and we just run towards bot, can we save this tower in the end? Like, so one wave dies here. This wave we can sort of be there for, but the next wave, we have to full weak side bot wave. This wave. And I think we end up having to do 2. So here we're already scared. Okay, no, we don't have to do 2. We do come back for the next one. But we lose the tower. So that, I think, will be an interesting puzzle. Because I think what we actually did is okay. Again, assuming we just play it properly and we kill Baus. But yeah. Hey, Devrin. Guys played patiently. Yeah, thanks. I think it was, like I said at the beginning, it was all the things that we've been working on and failing to get better at suddenly all happened. So that was really good. I think the second game especially was just really patient on what we needed to do. I'm sure there's windows that we missed, but it's okay. Then this situation, sorry, I just got a bunch of messages. I shouldn't check messages while I'm on the stream, but I see the things that they come in, and I like that already. Has me curious. Okay, so we contest mid-wave high. What's the items and flashes? That's always the thing that I want to look here. Okay, so Jhin no summoners, Vi no flash, Baus no flash. And we've got flash on our crucial person, and I think we will have flash on Rel soon, if I remember. Yeah, I mean, that people use the term wake up call, and I think that is obviously, it's cliche, but it's really, really true. I was saying already, I think even the way they contested that second dragon was just, you think you maybe get away with this in NLC. We always love the Poppy pick, especially when enemy's going to take Vi 1-2 and have Poppy open. Okay, so we hard contest the mid wave, so we don't, I mean, we get slight prio on it. Able to push them around this way. We're being very, very clear on flashes, which again, we've been going on and on about it for the last 2 weeks and not really getting better at it in scrims. And then here we were just miles better at it. The comms were just like so clear, like, okay, we have flash on our 2 important engagers and they don't have flash on a bunch of people. So like any of them are a target. then Chachi gets a really good engage onto Baus. And at this stage, I think they need to just stop the contest. You have to just do something else. Like, Baus got half HP, you have no flashes, you have to go somewhere else. And again, we're talking about maybe an eye-opener. Again, I don't want to put words in their mouths. Obviously, their opinion on this matters a lot more than mine. But from my point of view, this is what people mean in practice when they say stuff like, we need a wake-up call. It's this idea that we just sort of lazily contest stuff that we have no business contesting because normally people don't punish us. Because now, like, okay, they think maybe Baus can base and then come in, but like they're just for sure people are going to die here. And I think, to be honest, we play it not very well and they still die. Like here, like already, like flash Q, I think, already. Maybe the range. Or now just don't flash. I don't think you need to even flash to get on the Orianna here. And the fact that they also then flash as well, this is really crucial. And the problem is that because it's a snowball-based game, like, yes, the gold is still, like, basically even. Yeah, I actually didn't realize alerts were on. I haven't changed anything from when they weren't on. And also, I don't want them to be on for the... I'm so... Okay, wait. I'm going to try and change it. Right, I need to reduce the volume. And I don't want it to be on for you. I only want the thing for me so that I can be aware that someone has followed or subscribed or whatever it is. Visuals and sound. Volume. 2%. Oh no, okay, right, that's why it's not changing because I'm looking at the wrong thing. But can I make it so that the volume is just for me? So I'm going to put 0% on the alert image volume. And I put 5% on the follower volume. I literally just want the alert so I see it. I don't even want you guys to see it. Because I don't like missing them. Anyway, this is another seamless stream from John. What was I saying? League of Legends. Right. Yeah, so this is what I mean, is that actually in a game like this, they're a little bit ahead in gold. Obviously, we have the grubs and we have the extra dragon. But I'd for sure rather be us based on how this game has gone out. Because there's some little things that are mistakes that we wouldn't normally see that then you start to get in your own head when you weren't always behind. Used to being behind or used to being actually genuinely put under pressure. So they TP top. But Vi is too low, I think, to play the Rift Herald. I think with the drafts as well, we kind of do the same thing, but I think generally we do it better. Unless they can get a really good engage before anything happens. But these two fights were already set up on the objective first. You know, this one was Yanko Singting, but this fight was set up first, this fight was set up first, and I don't think they can fight like that. But it's hard to get prio in these situations to be the one on the objective first. So then what do you do? And that, I think, where the draft becomes a big problem. About Jhin, do you think that Jhin isn't a blindable pick? Whatever Jhin pick, he's always getting caught all the time. I think Jhin, with all ADs up, is not particularly good blind. Also, it's always a little bit of a worry early when you might lack damage. No, they don't lack damage here, obviously. It's really good with people that it can help facilitate, like Gwen and stuff like that. I think it can be a blind, and it's just a good answer to Varus. So... I think it's okay. That Baus, that was just at not a particularly good timing because I think they get this anyway. You always get something, obviously. They always get something, obviously, for you getting a kill on one side of the map, even if it wouldn't have got a kill anyway. Jhin gets fed by triple... You mean... Like, he doesn't do well into. those. Yeah, well, this is the thing, because we knew they were, if they're going to give us Varus, they're going to pick Jhin into it. We already talked about what we would want to play into it. So I think it's really hard for Jhin in this game. They really just need to be mega on the front foot in a game like this. And if they're not, then it's going to be always hard. And I do think the Galio is not particularly good, but when there's 4 or 5 bans on top lane, like, you know, that's the downside of dropping. And we knew they picked red side so that it would always drop top. So we wanted like 3 or 4 bans, and we knew that we would get the same. Yeah, I think without Rel, you can still... I don't mind Leona as well, honestly, if you still just put the Poppy top, but you can also put the Poppy into Rakan as well and take a different engage in top lane, and... yeah, maybe Braum, but into Rakan it's not great. Also, if they don't take Rakan, we can also go Rakan. Like, there's a bunch of different options that we had. I think after those first 3, we're already so flexible, but... And then I think basically the same thing happens again. Like, we lose the dragon, but when we're set up on the objective, they just can't. They really just can't. And so we're again set up on the objective, and they're again late to it because we can get pushed, not just because they're like dozing around. And so they have no good way of contesting this. And Velia gets actually quite a nice flank. Okay, I wondered in the game if we saw it or not. Velia gets a nice flank, and this was the one time I was a little bit worried. It was like, okay, maybe something bad's going to happen. The downside is that they have this dive, and we're going to have a tanky Victor who's going to have Roa and Zhonya's, and we're going to have a Varus who soon will also have Zhonya's, and it becomes so difficult to do anything. Versus this kind of pick style. We need to ward this flank a bit better. This blue obviously should be up here, because then it would see Vi now, or when she comes around. Because that's the one thing that made this a little bit awkward and a little bit like tense for me. But other than that, we're just rinse, repeat the same thing. We're also holding the bush really well, something we talked about before. So yeah, shame that we got... we should have just gone on the Vi probably, as soon as she jumps over. But shame that the dragon got stolen in a 50-50, but this fight is never going to be good. Poppy zones away both their carries, and then knocks one away. And on the back end, Victor already has the upgraded ult, so... you can also just take Leona or something, I think, right? I don't think you have a Merc Treads problem. And then here we were good about like, instantly resetting the map. I mean, okay, Freddy stays. But he has DP, so he can stay and only be a little bit off tempo with us for that. And this was really strange from Crowny. This I did not understand at all. He got punted back. He's literally here, and he stays. And this next whole like minutes of sequence, we can just do whatever we want. Because like as soon as he showed, everyone was like, "What's going on?" Like you see the ping already. I think this is super uncharacteristic, this kind of mistake. I don't know if he's just really near like a big item or something. No. And then we just stop his base again, and we're just like, what is going on? So we take one tower. Then we take Rift Herald, just all for Jhin not basing. I mean, I think the tower probably goes anyway. But just all this time. And we're saying, look, we're too tanky in bot lane. We have Zhonya's and Rod of Ages, like they can't dive me. And now we TP because we see them show mid. Poppy's just wasting their time. Vi's dead. And it's really hard. But I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't base. The fact that he came forward, cleared one wave, based. This I don't mind as well. Like we talked about if we should do Baron, and I don't mind not doing it actually. I mean, I think we only don't do it because we missed the W, but yeah, I mean, like here, I was pretty shocked the Reckless didn't die. But it doesn't really matter. Like in these, honestly, in a game like this, you shouldn't be thinking that you shouldn't die as a support. I don't know if there was opportunities for him to find stuff, but obviously Hylissang is the exact opposite end of the spectrum, which I also don't think is necessarily good. But if you're 0-10 and you find the right engage once, maybe that's better than not dying, you know? Then again, I just think we played this game so much, but like this is the best we've ever played as well. Like I think they're a little bit off their game, but this is the best we've ever played. So assuming we get a rematch in Copenhagen, it's still going to be a very, very fun one. And then Baus here, I think this wave is just really, really silly. This is just way overstaying. Then he dies. Xin goes forward. He dies as well. Yeah, I think Mickey's in general really good at it. And of course he's going to have games where it just doesn't work. But like, sometimes your role as a support is to just make the engage happen no matter what. Sometimes your role is to not die. Sometimes it's just to, whatever happens, I have to just make an engage happen. Yeah, and then from here, it's kind of easy is the wrong word. Rakan in this game, I think I don't think he has to die. I think in all these fights, like let's look at them again, okay, right? Because the game is kind of over. So this one. Let's look at this area. So we get Jhin cleanse, we clear the wave, we push out mid, and we start the dragon, and we were very clear about flashes, and I think they can't walk in late. This is the one that I think is just a bit too cocky. Like you can't, if we've got control, you have to know that we're going to be quick enough to turn on you instantly. Maybe in other games in the NLC or whatever, the Xin doesn't insta-flash. Maybe the follow-up isn't as quick. Maybe you get away with it. This one, like I said, Jankos just going too far. This next one, we get pushed on this wave. They're fighting for it, but we get pushed on this wave. We use our teleport to ensure that we can get in. This is the kind of situation where, while we can see Rakan, it's good for us. You know? Like, all the time that we can see Rakan, it's good. If we just can't see him, it's hard. It's already harder. And we can still see Rakan. And we can still see Rakan the whole time. And we can still see Rakan. Like, he's never getting to the back line on vision here, and now it's on us to engage. And they teleport behind, but like, we knew we had flashes, and even though Ori, the person with flashes, the person who dies, like, we knew that's never going to be an issue. And here, Velia gets a really nice flank. But again, we can see Rakan the whole time. And look, obviously, Reckless is an unbelievably good player. I think his transitions to support has been awesome. But this whole time, we can see Rakan. Like, we know where Rakan is. We know where Rakan is. He knows we know, but we know where Rakan is. We know we still know where Rakan is. Like, we always know where Rakan is. And even his W gets blocked by Xin. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, Hylissang dies randomly and he dies stupidly, but he also dies trying to find the perfect flank. And in certain games, like I think personally in this game, with the drafts the way they are, they just need to get flanks. Otherwise, they can never win. And they didn't. So, I mean, we got to here where we did the Baron, and from here it was just quite clean. So I don't even have anything from this game. I have that one puzzle after the grubs. Yeah. And then it's the same situation again. Like now both carries have Zhonya's. It's even harder. Like it's just impossible. And the Victor, like the fact that the Victor ult works like that now also just makes this like ridiculously difficult. Just going to quickly, I have a actually important message to look at from somewhere else. So I'm going to just put the other draft on the screen. For you. Okay, there's not a way that I can properly get it on the screen. There you go. I'm just fully covering up myself from before, and then I quickly need to reply to another message. Okay, good. That's all sorted. Okay, so this draft, not quite as not that we're unhappy with it in any way. A little bit more of a risky one, but we're also sort of positioning for game 3 as well. That's still in the back of your mind with Fearless, right? We did think about taking something other than the other like sort of skirmishy jungler, so that next time we can take it and they can't take a reverse. But I think that's maybe not the right way to approach it. Then here we were talking about if we blinded, we were thinking about maybe blinding Ez anyway, but we didn't want to give them too much of a just like free kind of Kai'Sa angle. And so the thing was with these bans, with the Xerath ban and with the fact that we're not banning Azir anymore, we know they're going to take Azir. And so we were just going to do the handshake trade anyway. And there wasn't anything particularly dangerous that the Syndra, it wasn't like Freddie was worried about, okay, if I pick this, they're going to do this or that. So this trade would happen anyway. I think the only difference if they first pick Azir is that we can obviously go Pantheon and Syndra. I don't know if we would have done, but we could. And because Syndra also has that stun, I like making sure that we have some CC on normal abilities when we're taking Neferi. And Ezreal on 3 as well. This I'm not a big fan of, but they're worried about, again, we just do double top ban. If they take Ez here, for example, and then we take Kai'Sa, we can still do double top ban. And anything else they blind here, we can still get the counter of. Yeah, so the thing with the comp and the reason I actually really like it, even though it's a bit weird, is this pick is like bad into Janna in isolation, bad into Azir in isolation, kind of bad into Trist in isolation. But I think it's really good into their whole comp. Like they have really low engage. And we already have more range. Like Neferi is actually kind of annoying poke champ with the build that people go nowadays with like Spirit Sojourn and stuff like that. So we already have more engage. But this just means like they have to they have to try and fight, and you could hear it in the comms and stuff. Like, we need to. There was one time, because I've rewatched their comms or some of it on like ×2. There's one time where I think Nemesis was saying like, we have to fight mid, like we have to force something mid. What have we got? Pantheon ult, I guess. Like, they can just Pantheon ult at us. That's the way that they engage. And so as long as we play like slowly and as long as we play disciplined, it can be really, really good. And like, okay, Trundle, if he tries to team fight versus any of this, it's really fucking hard. But you don't need to. So I think this one is a lot more of a risky draft to execute on. A lot harder of a draft to execute on for us, but we did it really well. Yeah, no way playing around Pillar. I'm not sure that's really a combo, but we were insistent that it might be. So yeah, we tried, but I don't think it was really the big mega combo. The main thing for me was like, okay, at this stage, if they outrange us, for example, if they had, I don't know, Xerath or whatever, and Varus, then this Trundle is mega in, I think. Or if they have Ornn, then this Trundle is also, obviously the matchup's still good, but it's also much harder. Because if we have the range advantage and a split push threat, it really is going to mean that they have to engage on us. And when they can't, it becomes tough. It becomes very, very tough. So let's get into the game. I thought it was behind there and it wasn't. So this one, I mean, I think a lot of it does become just about oh, thank you, pro streamer, etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, it just becomes so much about top lane in this game, I think. Can't remember how it even went. Oh yeah, early on we get kills, but they get, I think, even the gold lead. And then yeah, I think you can go Yorick as well, and then you have a bit more even like help with the poke and stuff, but we just go full split push. I think the matchup's maybe not quite as good for the Yorick, and for the Trundle, it's just mega free. If you get ahead, like what can Cho'Gath do? You just get Pillar behind you and run down over and over. This Jankos played this series unbelievably well in terms of like as a like the comms and as a teammate, but those Qs that is 100% a kill. And 100% a kill would be really good because Pantheon is much stronger early. Didn't expect this to be a really quick review, but it could be there's not that much to even look at from this game either. If that's the case, what I want to do with the team is we want to keep working obviously on the stuff we're doing. I want to make sure we don't let up on the things that we suddenly did really well, like the timing summoners and being clear about strategy and stuff like that. Then we're going to work a lot on the draft, obviously the new patch, and team fighting will be the next one. But again, the team fighting here was really good, so we'll have to see. So we get him super low, and now he's going to get 6, but the dive is kind of free. And basically both our top lane and jungle get Giga fed from what happens in top lane. So here, same again, like we're just fogging to the wrong side. So we lose flash and die, which is really bad. This, I think, is just a really badly timed proxy, isn't it? We're literally saying, like, if he comes here, we're killing him. That's good. I like that. He played like 2019 with the hands of 2025. I like that. Yeah, he's just Giga Smurf this whole series. Just getting everyone to do exactly what like they should do, and just running the whole game, which is great. And also, Inax was incredibly good as like in supporting it, which we've had a problem with, like finding that dynamic in scrims. But in this, it was really, really good. Because also Jankos is really assuming that people don't int because he's used to playing against a much higher level of play. And you have to punish people who just completely int for stuff in ERL. So I think it's the best way to think about it. So they get the dragon. Again, Freddy gets caught. He just needs to not defend that pink ward. It's really silly. But I think if you cut out the silliness in this game, I think it's also really, really one-sided, actually. I think the only reason it doesn't look... yeah, true. True, but like the point is that you build up, like they int, but not in the same way. Like you build up, because you're also scrimming against high level of competition, you know? Like in a year in the LEC, you play I don't know how many 100 games against people of like LEC level. So even the worst ones who can look a bit silly on stage don't often out of position in the same way. So I was talking during the series, like Freddy, I think is a fantastic player and actually is getting better as well, which is awesome to see. But if you compare him to someone like Nemesis, for example, I think the biggest difference is that Nemesis is just out of position less. And that's why it was quite shocking from Crownie, I think, in game one, where just quite a few times he was just a little bit out of position. So that kind of inting, I mean, not necessarily like missing stuff and doing that kind of thing, but Nihat's very focused on Inax, very focused on trying to make sure that like when people are out of position, they die. And I think a little bit too much in general, but you need to have a bit of that balance, I think, in ERLs. You know, maybe if we get to a mere Masters even, it'll be less of a big thing, but still, the balance that they found in this game was really, really good, which is great to see. So we get another pick. Do we dive him again here? No, he just comes forward again. I mean, this is just inting. It's just inting. It costs us almost nothing other than the Ethereal. Doesn't get the wave, isn't doing it for the wave. They spend a lot of time focusing mid. But Freddy actually in this game hits some unbelievably crucial stuns, by the way, that like win us a couple of important team fights. So I really like that he got picked on a lot, arguably due to his own positioning, but still, he got picked on a lot early and still didn't get put out of the game mentally by any stretch. And so like hit some really, really crucial stuns that changed a lot of fights. So now Neferi's starting to scale up as well. Obviously, they've both got one item. Pantheon's still stronger now, I think, but later on, Neferi just starts to get so obnoxious. Not that Pantheon doesn't scale well. I think he still does nowadays, but it's just not Neferi. This one was a little awkward, if I remember. Yeah, so in the game here, we know this is even coming, and Inex was just saying he should just E it. He just can E it. If he's Eing now, then he still has flash. He can actually get away. And also, Nash uses Q too early. Why does he even use his Q? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he tries to go for a combo there to try and slow people down, or maybe to get the wave, actually. But that means that he doesn't. And also the W needs to come in, like, already. If he can W the Pantheon before he even gets his 3 hits, then maybe they can play it. We know why we win. Yeah, the first game, I think we executed on the thing that we've been trying to learn for the last 2 weeks, which is that our comms were much clearer. We were very clear on the strategy, like how we wanted to play. In the first game, we wanted to control an area, make them come into us, and then we just snap turn. And they gave us those opportunities too much, I think, but we also executed on them. Second game, we wanted to play really, really slow and just poke people out. We missed the first Q again. And then the other thing is that we were actually focused enough on tempo. After every play, people were saying reset, reset, waves, 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 which was really good. Syndra is such a cool champ. Used to play her a lot before the rework. So it's just... Yeah, it's really fun. I think it's really good as well. It's nice to have that same... It feels like Syndra, but she has more of a place, especially in competitive, because it's more like scaling and less early game, right? I think it's very cool. Here we just trade flashes because we have only time for a quick play. I mean, so far, I don't even think I would have like specific puzzles. Like this dive is just the mechanics, which we even knew in the game. We literally said straight afterwards, like, oh, I just wanted to eat it, and I was just too slow. They get the mid wave here, which I'm not a big fan of, but I don't know how. Can we be at there quick enough? It's hard for us to fight on mid waves though. Because we also don't have a lot of engage. They take the Herald and we push them out and then we hold them off mid lane, do we? This I'm not as big a fan of this whole sequence here. So this can be another puzzle actually. So here, starting from this moment, I'm gonna write down 57. So, no, sorry, with this Syndra thing, you know what I mean though, right? Well, like when a champ gets reworked, like Aatrox looked like Aatrox, but didn't really feel like Aatrox when it got reworked, you know? But now it does because we used to the new Aatrox. Or like, I think you have some of the other reworks that didn't really land for me. Like, there's some that just changed the champ a lot, and it's like, well, this is basically a new champ, whereas Syndra is still the same. Yeah. So so with this puzzle, right, the first question would be, can we commit more to this mid lane? And if not, like, should we be putting Trundle on side or Syndra on side? Like, who goes side? Can we fight for this mid wave a little bit more aggressively? Because now Ezreal comes. But if we're going to lose this 3v3, then like, what else do we do? Then we push this, and when they go that way, like rather than pushing them this way, can we try and make something else happen? Because this whole sequence for me, like we don't really get anything in particular done. And now we TP to mid, but we can't even like hold them away from the mid lane tower properly. Yeah, so we end up trading 1-for-1 and they take the tower. And we can't take like the whole bot tower. So that whole sequence, I think, would be good to make some sort of puzzle from. Basically, Syndra used to be like, you have to punish in lane. You have to like hit Qs early on, otherwise you're kind of... and you kind of fall off really rapidly, other than you just shot R button. Whereas now, like everything, I think scales up much better. This with the Azir bot. Again, we're just holding positions much better than we were. Really nice stun. Chain CC, we don't commit anything really for it. Like just some ults to get the kill. Then when he TPs, we TP. Not even sure we needed to, but when they did, we did. Trundle is currently 3,000 gold ahead. So everyone else is behind because Trundle is ahead. And this is what, you know, we put time in top, they put time in bot. So in a sense, that's going to happen. Bot and mid. Not obviously to this extent. These ad banners, yeah, they're in the TR client. Oh yeah, this one was, we did know that they might do this. We did talk about it. I think this start is really hard and they start to get really chunked, and if they stayed on it, they would just be dead, and so they lose a bunch of tempo to try it. I don't think we actually get anything for it though, do we? No. And because we don't really have like a lot of tools, it will take a while. Hey, Barry. It will take a while to like build up pressure and then start to get stuff. So while we're not in position to actually be threatening on multiple sides of the map, it's kind of a bit awkward. Like both teams are sort of like, hey, how's it going? Now Trundle's bot and Janna's basing. So what do we get from this? We get control around mid lane. And we get to come bot to make it. We try a play bot during this time because I don't think there's anything else we do. I don't think we can necessarily start Atacam. But now that we do the thing that we've done a bunch with split push champs like Trundle and Yorick, which is that they're also real problematic Atacam soloers. And so if you put them on that side, they can genuinely just go over and just start hitting it. And if you check, then they just run away and they haven't really lost anything. Trundle hits the wave like twice and he comes back to full HP. So if they make a play on bot side on Syndra, we take the Atacam. But it does cost us the dragon, I think, right? Yeah. So we're too late to contest this dragon for sure. I don't think with the lane set up the way it is that we actually can contest the dragon. What would you say are the team's biggest strengths and weaknesses? That's an interesting one because before Wednesday, I would have said stuff that we did really well on Wednesday was our biggest weaknesses. I think that our biggest weakness often was that we're not on the same page about how we see the game. But here we were much better. I think that our biggest weakness was how we communicate in game, but here it was much better. So this is the problem. I'll need to think about how to answer it. We can talk about practical, like more minutiae kind of strengths, which is obviously like how Jankos sees and understands the game. I think it's fantastic. And so when we're in a situation like this, where he can just sort of not fully boss the game, that's not really his personality, right? But when he can talk a lot and kind of lead the game, that was really good. Someone put in the chat that Freddie had a great thing. It was like playing with 2019 Jankos, just with 2025 hands. I think that's perfect. That's a really big strength. I think that this split has been fantastic. He's stepped up how much he's putting in, and it really shows. I think he's really consistently very, very good. And it was also been able to integrate a bunch of new champions into his pool, like Trundle and Yorick and stuff like that, which has been fantastic. I think Freddie, biggest weakness is that he gets caught out a lot in silly positions that you can sometimes get away with in solo queue. Although even not that often in solo queue, let's be honest. So in the first game, for example, twice he fogged to the side that our jungler wasn't or our support wasn't, and both times he died for it. And here he's done the same thing twice and also fought for a random pink that he had no business fighting for. So I think he understands tempo and how quickly things move in the map and where he can be and what wave he can take. But he sometimes autopilots too much, where he just doesn't think about it. Like he knows he messed up. Like as soon as he takes that wave or as soon as he fogs to that side, he knows it was wrong. But the problem he has is that he kind of defaults into that sort of solo QE mindset where he's like just chilling. But I think his big strength is how he plays mid and late game team fights. I think that can be really, really good. And also, again, I think he's insanely good on certain champions that are a bit niche and weird, like Xerath, which is always a problem, right? Like they banned Xerath both games, and I think it's actually a really good ban that people haven't done against us before, because I'm pretty sure most people think like, oh, come on, like it can't be that bad. Like we'll just kill him if he goes Xerath, and then he does, and he's just insanely good. So I think those are some strengths. I think Inax's mechanics, I think, are really, really good. Okay, maybe he made a little mistake here and there in this game, a couple. But yeah, I think those are also strengths. I think Nash is a very well-rounded player. I think he's also becoming much, much better in comms. He was already quite good, but much better at like leading the team and finding some really good engages. So yeah, that's a kind of more individual. In terms of the whole team, it's actually, like I said, it's hard to answer because what I would have said before Wednesday is what we executed really well on in Wednesday. So yeah, exactly. I just think, but people say that people will say internally, like, oh, we can deal with it. You know, I don't know that, by the way. I'm not saying that I know that this is the truth. I'm saying I've been on teams in the past where opponents have slightly weird picks like that, and you just talk yourself into like, it's not that bad. And then you play against it and you're like, okay, it is actually quite bad to play against that. And it's the same. Yeah, they got the first 2 dragons, so it's Chemtex now. But I mean, Dragon Soul is going to be a good win condition for either team anyway. I was looking at how we move around so that we have no control whatsoever of this. So it's because we swap 120 and we put Syndra on bot side who can't get the push. So I think it is more about like we're just trying to threaten the Atakan rather than play for the dragon. But because they saw him do it on Yorick, I think they see it. What would you say Ruddy's biggest weaknesses? I think sometimes with org like that, it's just if it's bad at the top, then it just seeps down, you know. So that's probably what I would say. Like if it's corrupt at the highest level, then just corruption just reigns supreme in org, or something like that. Yeah. So I think yeah. But what counts as the top? Yeah, exactly. I was talking about Dom. No, I mean, it's going to be so hype, by the way, playing against you guys. Especially after those scrims. If we get to game 5 and it ends up being, what was it? Varus top, GP mid. If it's a game 5 like that, to decide who gets a Mia Masters spot, I think that will be seriously fun. Okay, wait. So Drake's coming up now. Got distracted. We go towards it initially. And because we like wait around on Drake and because we try this, that's I think what costs us the time. And now we need to go back to lanes. And as we go back to lanes, we lose control of the dragon and they can just start it. Oh wait, it was the previous dragon that we were looking at. Wait, what? How I got... This is the one where we start dragon. I thought they just took it. Okay, but they took... Right, they took Scuttle. All this time I was thinking, why did we just lose control of this so quickly? But we didn't. We can't fight on mid waves though with these like groups, which is why it's really hard. So we have to be fighting on the Trundle side and getting pushed there and then moving it across. And then again, I think we just give a little bit too much control away, but it's hard to do. The stun misses as well, and then that's so much threat gone. And we're also pressuring this tower and saying like, okay, if nothing happens, like we can take this tower. And yeah, this trade is like still good for us. And then here is one of the crucial stuns I was talking about before. Well, Crowny gets caught by it and doesn't buffer, and so he just gets one shot. And so we get the tower, and we get the kill, and we get a bunch of flashes. Well, 2 flashes. And we get the next tower. Like I don't think we need to take this tower. But again, this is one of those situations where it's so hard to say like, okay, in this case, we don't need to take the tower. But if he's like 1 or 2 seconds faster, we take the tower and get out. Or if he interrupts the dash. And Azir uses flash for it, which actually, because they can't take anything afterwards, I don't really mind. And Elia just dies separated as well. So that whole sequence I think is really good for us. And now it starts to like blow open the game. So the third dragon is obviously a problem, but I mean, it's just this game as well. Like the matchup I think is a nightmare for Cho'Gath. He makes a few mistakes early on. And then he also gets dove, by the way. The first kill is him getting dove. But then he does make it. There's a couple of times here where he just walks forward and gets killed, and then walks forward and gets killed, and then walks forward and gets killed. And that's where it's like, okay, this is a problem. So we get this, we start doing the Atacam. And it's the flowers one as well, which I think is actually better in a lot of cases. Really nice stun here again. And we just, not quite, but chunk out the like not quite kill, but chunk out enough that we can just then do a bit of gardening. Then we just get a pick into Baron, right? Yeah, the Dolly is just way too far forward without flash. And again, I think this game, like, I would have said one of the things we really need to get better at is timing flashes properly. But this game and last game, like, we were just so clear on it. Like, instantly here, it's like, no flash, no flash, no flash. Like, we just kill him. Because he can't be there without flash. And now we can do that thing where we just tank it and hit it, and so they don't even get mid push because Trundle takes 0 damage from this. And now we want to play all 3 lanes, and we want to just play them a bit slowly. Okay, here actually we did 2. I think we can play 3, but 2 is always safer, even if you've got like a split push comp, even if the enemy really doesn't have very much engage. And when we're here and you're walking towards it, we need to be in a situation where we feel comfortable hitting this tower. We can't have not hit this tower all this time. Because we're coming across, and they can Pantheon ult, sure, but if they Pantheon ult and we're coming across, like, it's really bad. Instead, they go to mid lane. We get flash. No, we don't get even flash from Crowny. We kill Baus again, and we kill Pantheon. Triss keeps jumping forward, but it's just really obnoxious to do anything. And then while they're chasing that, we get the inhib on bot side. Yeah, I still haven't played the new patch. We play our first games on tomorrow. We play some games on it. Just a few, just 3. So I'll tell you after tomorrow how it feels. Then here, I think the biggest mistake we make is that we get kills and we don't... Oh, no, wait, okay, this is the one where we... Like, this game is completely in our control now, and we just E forward. Don't actually see exactly how this happens in the game. Oh yeah, it's because we get the stun on Pantheon. Yeah. Then here, it's really hard to get this. I don't think it changes much about the game, but it is really hard to get this. It obviously stalls the game out and makes the Dragon Soul a big thing. I don't think they... I think we get the soul... We deny the Dragon Soul. But yeah, it goes... I mean, I paused it obviously, but it goes quite quickly from 2 high HP. And then Crowny jumps in, so he dies instantly. Really nice from Nash to just insta-go on that. Yeah, there's also ones like this. In Spectate. Oh, maybe I haven't set it up. Okay. You can also on Spectate do... you have to do hotkeys and then like camera control. You can do all this stuff. Like this one. That's what I normally have it as. That's how they do it in like the game. So you just move a bit more slowly as I move the mouse around. But anyway. Here we should just end the game. We're just very scared of Azir. Like, just hit the towers. Just hit and they die. And Jankos was even saying in game, like, as we were walking back, okay, my mistake, we should have ended. But also, it doesn't... We kill this, and it doesn't really give them, like, much more chance to get back into the game. Obviously, the longer the game goes in a situation like this, the more chance there is of a comeback, of course. If the game ends, there's no chance of a comeback. That's some high-level thinking. Here we didn't even need to flash. We should just wait and W his W, and then we're chilling. Now Neferi is just so obnoxious as a champ. And we can play all 3 sides, but because they're all alive, this is where people were saying, like, do the combo. Like, I'm not really sure what the combo is. We get a stun there. They do have more farm, but it's going to be a long time before that makes, I think, a huge difference. Because we can still, like, pressure them from all sides, and we take all their jungle. They can never get out of base. We just wait for the next Baron and the Soul. Yeah, I mean, also this, I think, with this build, if you're this far behind, I don't know if you're ever going to do anything. The thing that's so bad is that what often happens is Baus is behind of the enemy top laner, or not often happens, sometimes happens. Baus is behind the enemy top laner, but he's fine in the game. But here he's behind everyone. Like he's barely above Reckless. And that's where it starts to get a real problem. This part at the end, this is the part that I think is not good. Especially ironically, the part that I didn't see. And we kill the Trundle. We just keep them pinned in their base the whole time. So they're getting 3 waves of super minions, but we're taking all the jungle. What happens? We're just too split up for this or what? No, we're taking Baron. Okay. So we take Baron. They get full setup on Dragon though. Okay, this can be another puzzle. So also 118. We go to Baron. They go to Dragon. I think we end with this Baron even if they have Soul. So maybe it's fine. But we have no real way to check in, and they can start this without having been poked. So now Triss jumped. Really nice stun again on Azir. We get flash. Weird flash from Yankos. Really nice. This is really nice from Freddy. It's Sonya's, but still. He dies for it, but it does like it still like to look for those things as well. He should just get the stun and back out. But this shuffle, I think, from us is a bit too far. So in the end, it kind of does actually come down to the team fight. I don't think it should. Like I said, we should have ended the game. Yeah, so the questions would be like, how should we play out this situation? We get a kill on Baus. He's going to be up for both objectives. I think that we should push this in deep, or we should hold, like, have less people do Baron maybe. Like, what if Neferi and Trundle just go to Baron, and everyone else stays on mid lane? Because the fact that we lose this wave is the crucial one. Like, Azir is showing there, Cho'Gath is showing there. We can't lose this mid wave, I think. It can't be collected this far up. How do you stockfish mid-game? When that happens, by the way, I'm actually really excited for when computers can play League of Legends. Because then you can train against AI, you can test out new things. We can do Alpha Zero AI and so Alpha Zero LOL, and it can work out new strats that no one ever thought of that are really good. And it'll actually end up being more like how you like, in the same way as chess is, you know. It's more technical being the best chess player now because there's machines that are made way better than us, and you have to do more things around like high performance. Okay, so that's the puzzle for the end. Then they actually end the game here. We end the game here, sorry. And that's it. Okay. So, not as long as I thought it would be. Yeah, that actually would be fun. I mean, in Dota, the AI that they did, which had a lot of problems, the biggest things were that it just hit the windows where it was strong really, 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 really hard. So there's a game where it had an eval bar. They had to ask it for its own eval bar, but it was like, okay, we have a 50% chance of winning, 55% chance of winning, 56% chance of winning, 57% chance of winning, 99% chance of winning, or something like that, because it was like it just knew the scaling so well. And then there was a few little things that it did that just no one had thought of, which I don't. They spammed buybacks. I don't know what that even means, but that's what I heard at the time, if I remember right. And then the other thing is, like, when it was playing the comp that didn't get outscaled, it super hard forced everything on the windows where it was strong. But there was a big load of problems with it, because, like, how does it communicate with itself? Does it know everything that's going on in every lane? Because that's not what players know. So it's hard to work it out. You would, I think, need to find a way where you have actually 5 different AIs that are like playing together. But I don't know how you actually make that happen. And obviously they'd be able to communicate. Both teams deserve to lose game 2. I never really know what people mean when they say that. For me, it's competition. It's not about being the best. Sorry, that's the wrong way to say it. It's not about being perfect. The only thing that matters is being better than the people you're against on the day. So I don't think either team played anywhere near a perfect game. We made a few horrendous mistakes in terms of just positioning, very silly positioning. And obviously Baus made a lot of mistakes in terms of just dying a lot. But I never really know what people mean when he says that. I think he just means that neither team played well, in which case I'm not 100% sure I agree. I think we played very disciplined. I think that's very good from us. I think they did a few things that were really good and a few things that were bad. What was this? This was where we died. Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, once our comp hit the point where we wanted it to hit, there was only a few things that we did that we made mistakes on. So, like, here we traded the dragon. Like, here is even. Here we traded the dragon for loads of gold, which I think is good. So now we're in a really good spot. Here is when we're doing the Baron. I think we should have ended, obviously. But I think if the game, like, if we end the game now, which we should have done, this game is just, we play kind of slow and scale to the point where we're scaled, and then I think we make good decisions. So I don't know. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means that both teams deserve to win. I don't deserve to win. I think that's yeah, I just don't know what it means. I don't have a real comment on it, because it's for me, it's just completely the different approach that I take to competition. I always tell people this when you go and play on stage, for example, in Copenhagen. Probably we're going to play worse, and probably the team on the other side is going to play worse as well. And I don't care. Like, it's not about being perfect. It's about being the better team on the day. That's literally what competition is. So, for example, one of the times in the LFL, we had an hour and a half long pause or something. And after the hour and a half long pause, we played better. Before, actually, we played worse. And that was why we won. You know, and okay, that's it. Yeah, Noah will be at the offline event. We're going to do a boot camp before, so we're all going to come like half a week or a week before. How can we not make progress on 30 HP next house? Yeah, this, like I said, this should be the end of the game. What was happening in comms is Jankos was saying, we don't need to end, like, we can't end. And it's he literally apologized afterwards. He was like, oh, sorry, we definitely could have ended there. That was my bad, but we're still going to win this game. There's still nothing they can do. But then this does end up being a bit messy at the end. Yeah, also, like, we want to split a team apart, and when they're all back together, that's always going to be the kind of scary moments. So what was it? Was it here? At this stage? Yeah, I mean, like, here we should just at any point like be hitting these towers, and then we would just end. We have no flash on our carries as well, so we're a little bit scared, and like one little prod from Azir and he does a lot of damage, but we absolutely can end here. It's like it's 3v5. Like, we just, at the very least, both these towers down, and we just rush it, you know? Because also, like, Pantheon's so low anyway, and we still have Syndra roll and all those kind of things. But I think if you played the rest of the game cleanly as well, it would be okay. But you do also give them the windows to come back. Cool. Okay. Well, I'm gonna call it there. So thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed. That's a review of the game, and hopefully a bit of a plan for next week's. Not as clear a plan as normal when there's like a few things that we obviously need to get better at. But yeah, it was good to get the win, good to lock in Copenhagen. It's still going to be a massive fight, assuming we do fight them again, either in for the second, third, or for the final if we beat Roddy. And yeah, I'm already looking forward to it. A best of 5 would be good as well, because it feels really good to win, but it's not quite the same as winning a best of 5. So we'll have to see if we can take one of those off them too. Have a good day and have a good weekend. I'm going to be streaming, let me just check, 100% later today. We're going to do a NORD management thing and then also streaming tomorrow. So I shouldn't say have a good day, have a good weekend. Have a good few hours, and I'll be back at 8 doing a NORD management variety stream. I think we're going to play some games. No idea. It'll be interesting. But anyway, I'll see you then for that.